But yeah, open up the chat. Where are you tuning in from? And I want you guys to really think about this and be real with me on it. What is your biggest win personally over these last like 3 or 4 weeks, or ever? You can choose any win ever if you want, like riding a bike possibly, maybe might be one of them, like go back all the way to 3rd grade or whenever you learned to ride a bike. But whatever win is really happening for you right now, because honestly, we're all learning and growing. I watch you guys. I see you guys finding your groove. I see, like, it doesn't matter if you were already a pro at this. You guys are like continuing to elevate to the next best version of yourself. And I'm loving it. Hold on, I got to get my screen. My computer's being all wonky this morning. Yes, and then also while we're getting ready to hop in here, text over to everybody. Make sure we don't leave anyone behind. Or don't. Actually, I'm going to throw out a disclaimer on that. You know what? If they're not here yet, this is one thing I want to say. This is the chasm week. You guys decided to stay consistent, to be here, to commit to yourself. And I just want to say congratulations. The 4th week is where really things change for you guys. If you guys have stayed consistent, especially if this is your first coffee and consistency training, I want to say congratulations for investing in yourself, because this is around the time when things start clicking, when you start noticing that you've made the commitment to yourself, where you start trusting yourself, where things start to become more natural, where you're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that before. Hold on, I got to like pull up the chat real quick. I see all these wins here. Diving back in, not running in fear. Let's see here. What else won? We got biggest win is making a mental shift and deciding to focus on my health and share with others. Finally getting organized. I love that, Mindy. 2 new clients, hitting 30 pounds gone. Congrats, Lisa. Oh, there's so many ones I can't even get to them. The chat's just blowing up. So without any further ado, let's get into today. I'm going to share my screen. Allison, my co-host, are you here with me?
You bet. Good morning, y'all.
All right, let me share my screen real quick and get this going. This week, all right, you guys, did you guys take an extra sip of coffee? Do you guys have your notepad? Because we're going to be just an eensy bit bold with you guys today. You guys okay with that? Allison, you plan on sharing some wisdom today?
Well, I don't know. I got to drink my coffee here and get fired up, right?
All right. Yeah. But as we're getting started here, it's 7:02, so we want to jump in here. If you just a quick housekeeping, make sure you're muted on here. Open up the chat. We love like questions. We'll reference them as much as we can, and we just are going to drop some knowledge on you today. But first off, I want to say congratulations. This is week 4. This is the difference maker, and I just want you guys to all give yourself a pat on the back. If you guys are here today, you guys have actually beaten the mold of what most people won't do, which is stay consistent, committed to themselves for 4 weeks or more. That's what like most studies will show. Somewhere around 3 weeks is when habit is created, and that's why most people actually. Let me check the chat or the participants really quick here. 179. Yeah, we're a little bit lower this week. You know what? I actually expected it, and I wasn't afraid of it. I think I actually called it out. That's why I'm excited for you guys to be here, and we're actually extra bold because this is so predictable. You guys can have the transformation that's in here. You honestly have no idea what's about to happen over the next 4 months if you stay consistent. Here's the deal. Not everyone will remain consistent. That's really what it comes down to. If you can continue to stay consistent, committed to yourself, like Jen, Jason, you're on my screen. Do you guys like if you're consistent, will it pay off in people's breakthrough in health? Will you learn things? Allison, we'll get to all this later. I want to get into the topic today, but my point is, and it's still climbing. Maybe some people are so slow waking up today, but I want to say congratulations to all of you today for investing in yourself, knowing that it will come, and just continuing to rock and roll and see these next few weeks. So I'm going to do this a little bit different out of order and try to move along quickly on here, but a recap on here. And the same thing I just talked about, skill set plus mindset plus action plus consistency is what equals success, which is why I love it. Like you guys are seeing the wins. I see it in the chat. I see all the different things, like one brand new coach this month, loving these mornings, like super excited, like, all right, like just there's so many messages, I can't keep up with them all. But the point is you're staying consistent. You're getting the mindset shift. You're seeing the results of it. Like Tracy Acamini, we talked earlier this week, you were like, okay, I'm just going to stay consistent in here. I haven't really seen a reward of it like in like a week or so. And then the next day a client decided to get started. Like that consistency is what pays off. By the way, congrats to you guys. No one really told you that it was the holidays. We have not slowed down at all. We're still tracking for our biggest month yet. We're just right about the normal amount of people we bring out this time of month. So just want to say congrats. And that's kind of the boldness of what we're going to cover today is coaching through the holidays. But what I want to cover today is, and set us up for, because I want to make sure I set this up well, is one, you're not going to have to slow down during this holiday season if you do these things right. We're going to show you exactly what to do. Honestly, you might see like a smidge, like a smidge like slow down and like, you know, your people that come on, but honestly, it should just continue. And you can continue whatever best month you determine what best month you have, but it's kind of like a slingshot. If you're consistent during the season, planting the seeds, you will see a slingshot effect in the new year. So like one of the goals or the action steps of today will be to really sit down and be like, where do I want to be 3-4 months from now? Like really visualize it. What's possible? Like stretch your mind. Like where would you like to be? Like dream big. I did a live on it earlier this week because it's just so important this time of year. Like, because you guys, where you can be in 3 to 4 months right now, like you have no idea. Like Jan, you were like, so you've been coaching for like 2 years. I see you on the chat here. Like Abby, I think you weren't even barely a coach this time last year. Jen and Jason, you were just barely coaching. I just see you on my screen right now. It's incredibly crazy what can happen over the next few months. And that's why I want to build this up here today. And I hope you have your pen and paper, because here's the thing. Today we are covering like it all. It's like twisting, plot twist ending. We're going to see how everything we built in coming this week is like the game changer and all this. You're going to see all of it come together. Plus you guys have been consistent. So you're going to see like you're changing. You're seeing the effects of your consistency, but also we're covering the most voted on topics today. We've already covered rocks and schedule, but we're going to show you how today, how they really actually ply out. That was the number one voted on topic. Actually, number one voted on topic was bring it all, be bold. And so we're going to be bringing that one today. Allison, we're going to be a little bold here in just a moment. Also, how to create integrated clients and coaches early. How do you do it? What's the secret? There's no secret. It's just doing the steps. We're going to cover that today. And I can't remember, there's something else too. Just again, social media, people just learning how to be committed in that. So I'm not going to really go on this slide, but we all know what it means. Just really committing to that consistency, committing to growth, staying there along the way. I'm going to take a quick pause real quick because we decided to add in like covering one of the topics of our transformational leadership each week. And I thought that's been actually really cool. One, I think it's cool that Optavia actually has transformational leadership habits that they apply. We've never done this before, but each week has basically been a great application to the topic we're covering. And I don't think that there's one that's really more important than this one. So topic or habit number 4 is connect authentically and cultivate trust. I just kind of want to sit on that for a second with you guys before we get into today. We connect authentically through our journeys, through our stories, through our consistency. That's what makes the difference. That's what creates the trust. That's what people know that we're doing something different, something special. And we have ways that can help you connect authentically with more people, but we don't have tricks. Like you can't fake this. So that's why we talk about doing the work. You got to do the work because you got to cultivate trust with the people around you. And during this season, you will cultivate trust. And I guess the last thing I would encourage you, because this has been the biggest game changer that Dr. A has shared with me that I try to focus on, is cultivate trust with yourself. That's why I'm very proud to tell you, like, wait, how many people are on right now? 223. Oh, we only lost 20 people since the start of this thing. Congratulations. Cultivate trust.
Oh, 225 now. It just
225.
keeps picking up. People are hungry.
That's right. So with that being said, cultivating trust with yourself. You have greatness inside of you. Like if you're here, who chooses to get up early on a Saturday morning to grow themselves, to be around other people, to grow their business? This is a crazy whirlwind life we're living. I want you to cultivate trust in yourself, because when you cultivate that trust in yourself, not only with others, you will realize your greatness inside of you. And don't think I'm wrong here. Every single one of you has a special greatness in you that you need to keep unlocking and keep moving forward on. So with that being said, let's dive into today, week number 3. We're going to go over a mid-month pulse check and covering the rocks. We're going to go over coaching your clients in their first month. This is the most voted on topic. So we have a whole like plethora of things we're covering. I guarantee you 5 things today that you will learn that if you're paying attention in depth will grow your business, change your business, or your Saturday morning money back. And then we're going to go over how to best support your clients during the holidays. Allison's going to show you how to be bulletproof on where clients are at, how to really come alongside them. And then we're going to finish up with some social media. We talked about how social media is honestly the gateway, is the connection piece. Before any client ever becomes integrated, it starts with how we live out loud. So we're going to go over a little bit of that. Gary and Lisa Stewart are going to drop some tips. Plus, we're going to be going into the holidays. How does this show up as we head into Thanksgiving? I bet you guys all want to know. Well, they're pros. They'll teach you. So with that being said, all right, topic number 1. Drop me a 1. Are you guys ready to go? Like, we're going to be really bold with you today. Can I have permission? Drop me a 1 in the chat. If you guys are ready, bold, we can bring it. Okay, so then the boldness. I'm getting tons of 1s. Do you guys have your map with you right now? Like, for reals, do you have it? Like, do you have the thing that guides you on your goals every single day? Jen, I can see you. Allison, I can see you. Like, who's got their maps with them? Jen's like, quick, go get it, Jason. All right, my map is probably like hardly, there we go. There we go. Who is that? Who's got it? I can't see the name on it. Anyways, people are popping up. Yeah, Suzanne, you got it. All right, I see some maps waving. All right. The pros, Suzanne, big thinker. I can't tell who else. I can't tell who you're. Oh, Denise, you're with. Oh, wait, how are you with Suzanne? Are you guys in the? Oh my gosh, it's a party. No one invited me down to the California area. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic today. I just love our community. It's so cool. Big thinkers, all right there, doing the work. Like success leaves clues. So like, do you have this today? This is what I want to show you. So many people ask, like, what is it the things those people do? How do they create success? Am I not good enough? Are they special? I mean, yeah, everyone here is special. Everyone has a unique greatness within them here. And I just can't repeat that enough, because you do. Because not in life, not enough people have told you about the greatness you have inside of you. Honestly, maybe some of you have probably squashed your greatness because of different things, or the way it showed up in the world. People told you had to mute it down. I want you guys to own your greatness. And I got to mute somebody real quick. But the point is the things that do this are the steps that you do create the difference here. So mid-month pulse check. Is this a rock in your schedule? I had so many people be like, oh my gosh, I remember to do it. Like, and I asked them, I go, have you put it on repeat in your calendar? And they said, no. I'm like, go do it right now. So the number one thing today that will change your business, if you do it, is go put this as a real rock in your schedule. Like for real, like on repeat. Allison, do you want to say something about that real quick? Because you shared something with me before the call on this. You were like, I'm just going to go ahead and share your tip on it that you were talking about.
Yeah, so when Brad and I were running through the slides on this, I interrupted him and I was like, you know what? Dawn used to remind me of this all the time. She would always send me over that pesky little ding where it's like, hey, mid-month numbers. And I'm like, ugh. But anyway, when I started actually doing this on my own for myself, well, Brad, my business changed.
Imagine that, taking ownership.
I know. So thanks, Dawn.
Yeah. So that's what I want to ask you guys today. I'm just going to spend 2 minutes on it but it is that important. It's important enough to talk about, because we talked about how it would show you how to flow through a month on. And some of you guys, I mean, most of you guys are already pros. I'm just like, it's like ding, 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 ding around the 15th of the month. And I love it. And you know what? It's the people that are the big thinkers. It's the people that are the best at this. So here's a quick question. So mid-month pulse check. Is it in your schedule? And do people really do it? Yes, they really do it. Like, what are the people that the success? Let's see here. Here's a brand new executive director. This is theirs. Hey, what time can we connect mid-month tomorrow? Here's our, here's my map. Allison Petty, do you do middle of the month? Yeah, absolutely you do. Like right there, boom, Susan and Shane Liddell. I could have done 1 million of these. But the point is, like, our goal in Coffee and Consistency is to lift the veil. What is it that really happens in growing businesses? Because you can have it too. And at whatever pace you're growing, we're glad you're here. So here's the quick reminder on it around the 15th of the month. Why? Why do you do it? Because you inspect what you expect. Your map should be messy. It should be wrinkly like mine. It should be highlighted. It should be good. You should do the work. It's also what the pros do. But it also, here's my favorite reason behind it besides accomplishing goals. It puts all your clients, all of your coaches, basically everyone you're being intentional with, it is a time to focus on those people, those real people that you are supporting. Gets you in their world, gets you in front of them, gets you tangible with them. It's a heart check and it's a goal check. Like, and I don't know which one's more important. So that's really key. When do you do it? Between the 15th and the 18th of the month. How and what? Here's what you do. Like, here's really how a pro does it. Check your map. What are you tracking for? Oh, cool. Like, most of my clients have ordered. Like, very few people have moved. Rock on. They're all doing really great. How am I tracking on my new clients? Cool. I started 2 out of the main 5 that I want to start. Have I started that new coach yet? No, but I'm layering with this person. I'm really guessing they're going to come on. Inspect your goals of your business at this time. And then what you do is, here's the main thing. You start to predict the future. Where's your front line at today? Current reality. How many premieres do you have, and then that are going to probably go through? And then don't try to like spend a lot of hours calculate it. Just times them by 300, because if they're integrated clients, you should be around that mark. It's a great pulse check on where you're going to be. And then what are you tracking for as of today? With that amount right now, like let's say with this example here, someone's at 3,000 frontline volume today. They have 8 premieres to go through times 300. You're tracking for like 5,400 in frontline volume. You guys all tracking me on this? Like, Allison, does this make sense what I'm covering here?
Absolutely.
And cool, I have half a month yet. If I want to make it 7,000, that's 5 clients. You can start 5 clients by the end of the month. Like, absolutely. Like, it allows you to get intentional with who you're pursuing and where you're building. It's also, how is your team doing today? It's not just about you. It's not just about your oxygen mask on you. It's helping your new coaches that don't know how to do this, looking out for them, getting their backs. And then also, here's the bonus of it. So I'm just going down here to the points. This is how you add momentum to your business. Big Mo. You guys want to know how to grow each month? You guys want to have a growth mindset? You want to have that like fire business where it changes, where you start having all the things happen that people have been talking about? It's how you concentrate on it right here, right now. It's the difference between finishing up at 5,400 and finishing up at 7,000 with momentum. It's the difference between bringing on, I don't know, you guys get it now. Like, that's why this is such an important rock. Gets your heart in check, gets your action in step, gets your goals in checks. And then the last thing to do, and like really, lastly, send this to your support team and their support message. Most likely, if you're newer on this stuff, and your support team will tell you when, like, honestly, just keep asking for like 15 to 20 minutes of like connection time on this, maybe less, until they tell you like, hey, you're good. We don't really, like, you know this skill so good. That's really, really what the pros do. And I tell you this step, I spend so much time on it because this step will change your business. So don't cheat the steps of success, your goals, or the lives change in the process. That's what to do mid-month. And here's the deal. If you didn't do it this month, great. Just put a rock in your schedule. That's why we go over this stuff in Coffee and Consistency, is so you can know what you can be doing to elevate your success, to get more successful. Allison, I just want to finish up on anything else you want to add to this?
No, I think the main thing is, if you're not doing this right now, don't worry about it. This is a gold standard to move towards. And if you're a brand new coach, senior coach, this might not be applicable for you right now.
Yeah. So anyone, I'm so glad you said, anyone over senior coach, this should now become your normal rock. Put that rock in your schedule. Do the work that creates success. Make coaching simple and easy. So that way you're not running around at the end of the month being like, where am I going to be? You already know. Calm, cool, collected, making changes in life, keeping your heart tapped in, accelerating your growth. So with that being said, let's move into this topic. Normally I cover this really easy. So this is where we really get into the nuts and bolts. So are you guys ready? Drop me a 2 in the chat if you are ready to have your mind blown today. I just got to make sure I check the chat real quick. I want to make sure it's really actually mind blown. Okay. Allison, bring us up to speed, because normally I cover what our topic is today and what we cover, but this is so important. This is where the everything comes together. If you've been committed over these last few weeks, I just want to say congratulations. Wherever you are at, like, congratulations on your consistency and what you're doing. It's leading to more lives changed. And it's leading to things that you probably, like, you're probably believing more in yourself. You're accomplishing things. You're seeing the growth. Or honestly, some of you are probably seeing the underground growth right now before it shoots out of the ground. So, but here is where everything comes together. So Allison, I want to turn it over to you to just like give us 5 minutes, like bring us up to speed, to be like, have a time warp of like, wow, I've learned all this. Wow, like 3 weeks ago, I wasn't even doing this stuff. Okay, I learned that. Okay, that's how it's all going to apply with what we have now, which is, how do you integrate clients? How do you support like a champ? How do you give yourself a chance to bring on coaches early? And how do you coach like a rock star? So Allison, bring us up to speed today, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Right. So, hey, good morning, you guys. And something to remember is there's kind of a lot going on here. And so just know this, always connect with your support team if a lot of this sounds like gobbledygook or doesn't make any sense. But honestly, something that I'm going to keep it back to like super, super simple basics. Like, who likes basics, right? Like, just one super simple basic thing. If you're not checking each week or each month or every couple weeks, like maybe how many health assessments you're doing, that is the lifeblood of your business. And so oftentimes, if someone's business isn't growing, it's like, well, what am I doing wrong? What's going on here? What am I doing? And sometimes it's not about all of these different things. Sometimes it's because you just ain't doing any health assessments. So, challenge yourself to take a look at how many health assessments you're doing each week. And how do we bring people to the phone, you guys? It's from doing these daily actions, from layering. It's from doing the 3x3x3. It's from connecting with people authentically. That's how we bring people to the phone. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, is anyone out there tracking health assessments? Okay. Well, anyway, today what we're going to talk about, we're going to move into integration calls, and honestly, really setting these up well. And I wanted to highlight something that I've noticed a difference. Like, what you focus on grows, and what you inspect, or what you inspect. And so I just recently started doing this with a leg of my business, Kaylee, where I came back from a trip to Maui. I was enlightened by all of these amazing women and men. And honestly, the integration Zoom, I was kind of missing the point. And so today what I'd love to do is show you what it looks like to have really great client support, show you what that looks like in the first week, and to tee Kaylee up to kind of share that.
Yeah.
Brad?
And Allison, let me pop in here for just 1 second on this, because what you said there is so good, like the mind blow on, so just catching people at speed. So we went over the rocks the first week, and hopefully by now you guys have these rocks, like hopefully they're getting fine tuned, because what Kaylee and Allison go over today will be very easy if you have these rocks in your schedule. We went over planning your month, which is why we did the pulse check today, because what you plan and what you execute really comes into fruition. I was listening to a podcast this morning. There was like the number one thing you can do is have clear, tangible goals. And then we also covered social media. Jen and Jason, just amazing social media mindset. And then Allison, I'm so glad you did that, because just if we do the 3, 3, and 3, that's great. But we need to focus on more than just like the doing it. Are we getting the result of it? Because honestly, if we're not moving it to a health assessment, we're not accomplishing the goal. No one can make the choice on health for themselves if we're not moving it to a health assessment. I love that you went back to that, because Sunny covered it last week. Blew minds. Talking about creating referrals, sharing the full trilogy, really layering those 4 components. And then Jen, oh my gosh, Jen, so good. You guys remember what Jen talked about last week, where she said, you know what, only one of their components is coming in the mail. It starts right there. You're setting the tone. It was so brilliant. She brought us right up until like how she sends that text before she calls her clients. Like all of this, like if you're doing any part of this, you're doing good. I mean, everyone can do this program, but if you really want to see massive game-changing success where it like flips, like what Allison just talked about, that all leads up to right here. So Allison, take it away with Kaylee from the like, okay, we sent that text, we're calling them for the night before, we made sure they watched that video. What is the game? Because you just talked about how it changed the game for you guys. Like drop the knowledge. People want to know how you do that exactly. What does it look like for you guys to do your sport?
Right. So honestly, I mean, like I was saying, back in February or March, I got back from a leadership trip with some women, and was like, gosh, maybe there is kind of something to these integration Zooms. Maybe I should like do more of that, right? Like, has anyone ever else had that epiphany? These people keep talking about this. Maybe I should do that. So anyway, I came back to Kaylee, and I said, you know what? Let's do this. Are you up for like diving in and like really doing this with me? Like, let's totally rock client support, and let's do basically an S-ton of integration Zooms, and let's see what happens. And you like how I said S-ton, like, that was the G-rated version. And Kaylee was like, I'm down, let's do it. And so what we did, you guys, is we dove into that client support and what that looks like. And I'll tell you what, Kaylee, if you want to unmute, I'm going to bring you in just a sec. But honestly, what happened is the first couple months, Kaylee, what happened? I mean, she was like, Allison, what are we doing? This isn't working. Right, Kaylee?
Yeah. There was some new stuff that we were trying, following the systems, but it was new stuff for us. And some things changed for sure.
Yeah. So what we did is we really dove in to follow the system, right? Like, okay, so we went and we followed the system, and we started doing these integration Zooms as soon as someone was into fat burn. And so Kaylee, if you want to kind of go into like what that looks like, leaving up where Jen left off last week after she sends the kickoff call, what do you do, and kind of how do you set your clients up for success about what to expect in that first week during the kickoff call?
Yeah, Jen really did tee me off well for that, because starting at the kickoff call, you guys, and that very first week, if you can do that part real well, because I mean, hands up, yes, we all want to grow our frontline volume and help people and assist them in their health journey. And that's a part of our business. But the other part of our business is helping our clients help others, right? And we're looking for partners. And so that very first week is so pertinent in growing your business that way and really building that trust and really growing and being brave in your boldness. So if you're willing to do these systems, what everyone talks about, this first week, it's really going to go off well when it does come to that integration call that Allison and I started doing an S-ton amount of. So it starts with the kickoff call, right? And so these are just a few examples of what I do, you guys. And I thought this would be helpful for you because I'm a visual person myself. But you're noticing here that these are copy and pasted text messages that we are given as part of our systems, right? I do not change them. I do not modify them. And that very first one there, you see, it's the text that talks about which day have you chosen? responded back. They said, Monday sounds great. I'm not assuming that they want to start the day after their program arrives. Okay. So I'm confirming which day and I'm writing that down, getting the kickoff put down in my journal or my planner. Okay. The next one is I know that the day that they want to get started, I'm talking to them the day before. And so I have the kickoff text, and guess at the bottom there, it says, after you guys go ahead and check out the info along with the video at the bottom, let's connect for a few. So you see here, you guys, that I am not hopping on the phone until it's confirmed they checked out that information, because guess what? When it comes to that kickoff call, it sets me up so well where I'm just celebrating them and I can have fun, because that text right there, it gives all of the information that they need. So I don't have to spend 15, 20 minutes on that kickoff call. All I get to do is really help them celebrate, believe in themselves, and feel really ready to go. Okay.
Yeah. Like those texts just really set us up to keep things super simple, easy peasy. You get to come on with your flair and your energy and start layering other things that might be applicable for them. And then Haley, here's a picture of your schedule. I love this. This is what I do. It can be visual, like it can be a written thing, or it can be electronic, but kind of tell us just in a couple quick seconds about what you do to kind of organize all this. 'Cause you help a lot of people, girl.
I do. And so based off of when they're starting, I jot down day 1, day 2, through all the way through day 8, because there's 8 text messages that very first, those first 8 days, right? So in my morning is by 3 by 3 by 3. Having my coffee, I'm sending those text messages over. I'm not modifying it, because there's something applicable in those text messages for everybody. Don't waste your time, you guys. Those systems are in place for a reason. So just copy and paste, send it, and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. The other cool thing I wanted to say about this is that what you're doing right now is that those clients, should they become a coach, they also are going to know, like, hey, Kaylee didn't write these. She's not perfect. She didn't wake up at 4 a.m. and write all these texts. And Kaylee's super open and honest about that. I didn't write this. I'm doing, these systems are in place for me so I can help a lot of people. So awesome job here. So you send the daily text, and then kind of like, what do the first 4 days look like? Like, what do you do, and kind of what are you asking people, Kaylee? How are you helping these people so well?
Well, the first 4 days, really, that's where it's at in my, that's where our businesses grow, because we're really following the systems in those first 4 days. And I tell them on that journey kickoff call, like, hey, this is what it's going to look like to work with me. I am going to call you the first 4 days. It's just going to be a few minutes. Is that something that you can commit to?
Oh, I love that you said that. Setting up the expectation, right? Like, You can answer if your kid's crying in the background. I got kids too. This is life. Let's just have this be life. It doesn't need to be perfect.
Okay, exactly.
Do you schedule these, Kaylee?
No, I don't.
Why?
Well, one, I ain't got time to schedule a 5-minute call. I mean, I've got the time, but that would be really hard for me to be exact in that. So I just give them, I'm going to give you a call tomorrow evening. Know that that's coming. If you're in the grocery store, no big deal. But I keep these calls simple, you guys, because also the other thing is I'm thinking of them as a potential partner. So if I'm talking to them on the phone for a half an hour, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, if I were to coach, I don't have a half an hour. So keep them short and simple. Okay. Yeah. Keep them short and simple. Here's at the bottom here, you guys, are some open-ended questions of what you can be asking them. Of course, you want to check the systems. Are they following the systems, right? So we always want to be confirming until they're in fat burn. If it's day 4 and they are still feeling hungry and tired and not feeling good, I'm continuing my daily check-ins with them until that has been confirmed.
Right. Until they're in fat burn. And how do you know they're in fat burn? Like, I mean, come on, like what kind of questions are you asking to be like, to start the celebration, start talking about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, they're open-ended questions. So asking them, well, how much water are they getting in? Asking them, are they eating every 2 to 3 hours? Are they measuring and weighing? And then asking them, well, how the heck are you feeling? Right? We want to know how they're feeling, and we want to continue supporting them and getting them into fat burn as soon as possible. So if they're not feeling fantastic on day 4, continue the next day and check in with them again.
Yeah, good. Nice. I mean, hey, that's exactly what I do, right? I mean, that's what we do. And honestly, when Kaylee and I dialed this in, I got back from Maui and I'm like, let's do this. Let's do this together. I'm making the commitment. We're partners. Let's do this. things started happening, right, Kaylee? So tell me like about this. Like, when do you move your client support to the integration Zoom, and why?
Well, I move that. I move it to the integration call typically around day 6. Okay. So day 6, guess what? We all have a text message that we send off, and at the very bottom it says, let's schedule your celebration call. And right there in the quotes is an example of what I'm messaging those people. Okay. So girl, you're rocking your goal.
Hey, can I clarify this? Because you said messaging, but honestly, from our experience together, normally this is in a conversation. Like you're talking to them, you confirm fat burn, and then kind of what do you do?
Yeah, after I've confirmed fat burn and they're rocking and rolling, I'm saying, you know what, lady, you're absolutely rocking those goals. I would love for you to, my health coach, Allison, we've got some amazing tips for you moving forward. So you're really staying in fat burn and seeing the best results possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kaylee, I mean, like that's kind of like what we do, like setting it up. We're making this about them. We want to add value and empower them. And if you can do this sooner than later, I mean, you guys, how many of y'all have had a client who's referred optavia.com? You know, like that happens. Or if you've had someone who's like by day 10 or 11 and you're like, oh my God, they're telling everyone that they're eating astronaut food or whatever, like people say. They say these weird things. Now is the time when they're in fat burn, you got their attention. You know what I mean? They love you. They want to know more. They're hungry. Get them on a Zoom and set this up well. And Dawn and I are going to kind of go through like what the integration Zoom looks like and when they're appropriate. But honestly, when they're in fat burn, set this up. Don't make this weird, right, Kaylee? Like, don't make it weird. Set it up and then start integrating them. And yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to touch on the bullet of layering all week. And we started with talking about being boldness, being bold, right? So in your health assessment, you guys, I would hope that all of us are working on really being bold and sharing like, hey, guess what? You know, part of your community here is like you're going to have some online support and some other areas there, but it's also your physical community. And that's a really good starting point, you guys. You're talking about, it's your mama, it's your dad, it's your friends, it's your coworkers. And guess what? They're going to notice within the very first week that there's something different about you. It may not be that they notice you just lost 10 pounds, but they're going to be noticing something. And so for that's going to come, they're going to want questions. And typically what happens is people start to join me, and I help my clients help their friends and family, and it can start paying for your program. But anyways, we'll talk about that another time. That very first call, you guys, I just think that that's so important. Really be bold and layering that starting right there. And then throughout the week, really giving examples and popping in where applicable and bringing that up about areas of people noticing.
Right. That's so true, Kaylee. And are you doing that because you want them to be a coach and you're like, want to get them?
No, I don't want to get them because I know the value, right? We all know the value of what it looks like coaching. We all know that it adds that added accountability. We know that there is purpose behind that. And so why wouldn't I offer that component?
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
To our program, part of the full offering.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And so we do these integration Zooms, and Dawn and I are going to go through that and like why and how and all of that. But honestly, once you've done the integration, we're letting people know in there, now this is what your support's going to look like. We go back to 2 times a week until it's been a month, and then we do a week thereafter. We're sending the how to update your Premier and really letting them know the expectation. This is what my coaching looks like moving forward. Right, Kaylee? That's what you do?
Yep.
I let them know, because sometimes people don't know. They don't know what you don't tell them. And if they don't know you're going to be calling and that, hey, it's an important part of answering it on Tuesdays, that's when I do my support, then they think that they just don't know. So let them know what it looks like. And guess what? They won't answer the phone on Tuesday, you guys, or whatever day your client support is. So I want to go through this just a little bit before Dawn and I go into the integration. But honestly, layering coaching and referrals, you guys, Kaylee is spot on, really being bold and being confident. If you're not confident stagnant right now, work with your coach, work with your mentorship, because this is a place where if you can really, you can wrap your mind around the fact that you're adding value to them, that this is about them staying in fat burn. This is about them finding a healthy community around them. And if you make it about you, it feels yucky and weird. If you make it about them, you get to be a PI. You get to be a private investigator, right? And you get to investigate how this can enrich their lives. We are problem solvers. So if you hear something that isn't right, or they say something that might not align with their goals, stop. Ask them, hey, I'm confused. Wait just a minute. Investigate that, you guys, because when you can investigate that and get to the why of what's going on there, you get to show up for them and add value. So I hope that helps you guys. Brad, anything you want to add about the?
1 second here. Let me share my screen here. I'm going to resist the urge to say a million things about what you guys said there, because it was so genius. You guys remember when I said at the beginning of this call that you would hear at least 5 things that will change your business? You might want to go back and re-listen to what Kaylee just said. There was so much genius in there that you might have actually missed the genius. Like when she made a decision to be bold with her clients, when she made the decision to layer coaching early, so not to be weird, like when she gave them clarity on what it would look like. There were so many questions in the chat. You guys, I think you guys hit a nerve on this. A lot of them are going to be answered in this next section. But like, here's what I'll just say initially. If you're saying, oh, what if clients don't want to be on a call? And I'm going to honestly just be bold, because I told you I'd be bold on this call. It's you. You are making it odd, and you're not showing the value. If you're not getting coaches, you don't have enough boldness in your heart of what you are offering people, and you're not fighting enough for their goals. I remember one last thing real quick, and we got to move forward because there's so much gems to cover here. But I remember being at one of my first, back then it was Take Shape for Life trainings, and I was just a new like regional director, and I was just infatuated with the idea of helping people and just supporting them. And I remember this really old lady stood up at the front, and my mom was like, yes, this person, my mom was my coach, by the way. You guys know her, Terry Miller, probably. She was like, this person, Danny, runs over 10,000 frontline volume. Back in the day, it was like an even bigger deal than it is now. Like, and she was like, you know, she's like 70 years old, like maybe 4 foot nothing. She's like, nobody wants a wimpy coach. And I was like, that's so good. And the more you know their whys, the more you are focused, the more you do the things Sunny and Jen and all the setup stuff and the clarity, you will have a game-changing experience with your clients. And so if you're wondering how that works, Kaylee just laid out the gold of how she made a shift of being back and forth ED this time last year to being big, thinking, consistent. I remember that conversation we had, Kaylee, this time of year at Intentionality Summit. Holler to everyone, it's going to be an Intentionality Summit in a couple weeks. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And we were like, girl, you're not thinking big enough. You have so much potential. And that's when you and Allison decided to dial it in. Anyone can do this same thing too. And many people here are. So just so much genius. So Dawn, I'm going to actually bring you in to show you the shift that everyone does the same thing. So Dawn, you have taught Allison to be a pro, which she have then taught Kaylee. Will you show us how to take it from that first week, getting them into the fat burn? By the way, I love how you covered fat burn. It's so important. Everything hinges on that first fat burn experience. These are all little nuances that make the difference. But setting up that 1 week integration call, like what are some of the art pieces? Because one, I don't think people know how important it is. It is the game changer. So just if you're a visual person and you can see me, it's the difference between it possibly going as good as like this going forward, but most likely probably going and going like this. Like you're going to re-hit all the things from that health assessment on the integration call. And it's going to set them up for coaching possibilities if that's what their focus is. And honestly, if you're not seeing all of your potential clients as coach candidates, you're not coaching to the full level. I just got to be bold enough to say you aren't seeing the matches of what's possible in people's lives. You're thinking too small. I'm not saying they have to coach right now, but you're not seeing the full level. If you're scared to get referrals from your clients, you're not fighting enough for them to get people in their world changing their health. Dude, people know this. People want this. Everyone I talk to wants to be healthier, happier. We need to be there and that bold. I'm not saying we have to go boss people around. I'm saying be bold enough to let people know what you need from them to be successful and go there with people and go there with enough value that you are helping them make that step. I don't know if that's bold enough for you guys. So without further ado, sorry, get a little bit of a tangent because I've been doing this for a long time because I see the game change and I just want everyone to have their best experience with this possible. I want people to know I almost didn't coach this. It took like 40 follows, 4 years for us to do this. I almost missed out on this community, this health, this everything. And I shudder to think we should always learn these things so that we can, one, grow our business. I mean, heck yeah, let's do that. but create a better experience for everyone. So I've talked way too long. I'm going to turn it over to Dawn, who's going to use a real life example. You guys also voted on, you guys wanted role plays. This is going to be like a hybrid role play. What do you really do? Because Allison, do you really set up integration calls with Dawn? You're a global director. Do you really set up integration? Yeah, she really does. So with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Dawn, take it away.
I love it, you guys. I love this kind of energy. So I love the Don't Be a Wimpy Coach, Brad. And clearly you have little boys because you're like, vroom, here goes the car. And it's so true. And so I just want to give mad props because Allison, Katie, you guys are rocking it. You did such a good job of showing what it looks like to layer early and often. I'm going to share my screen really quick, but you guys, this is the good stuff. And so I just want to challenge you here in the chat. This is interactive. How many of you are thankful that Brad said yes? What was it? Almost 10 years ago. Are you thankful that someone followed up enough with him and stayed with him and loved him? Of course, it was his mom, but wanted him to share this with his world. Are you thankful? Drop a 1 in the chat because that's how important it is. That we are going back to number 1. Are you thankful that that happened? Are you thankful that someone was not a wimpy coach to Brad? Are you thankful that he chose to pay this forward? Because that's why that's why our lives are changed. And then I want you to put a number 2 in the chat. And I want you to just close your eyes for just a second. Has your life changed measurably because someone cared enough about you to invite you to share this with your friends and family? That someone cared enough about you to contend for your goals and to not be wimpy? Okay, I'm loving the chat blowing up. Now let me share my screen because Allison, I want to bring you on because you know what? You do this. You really, really do this. You really set up integration calls with me. And so I would love for you just to share just a couple knowledge bombs of what are you, when you integration call, when you're starting a new client and you're seeing the future, you're seeing that they're going to help their friends and family someday because you really, truly do see all your clients as potential coaches. Not be right away, but it may be in a week or 2 or a month or 2, or you know what, heck, even a year or 2, right? What are you thinking about as you're setting that up? And what is your mindset for these integration calls? Because in my mind, you guys, these aren't optional. This is gold. This is where the game absolutely changes. This is where we get to show up and cultivate trust and connect authentically with people. So what are just a couple knowledge bombs before we go into actually showing people what it looks like?
Well, I love that. And I just want to say that, honestly, integration, aside from health assessments, like doing a really good quality health assessment and then doing a really good quality integration Zoom, it's the number 1 thing. Like, figure this out, y'all. If you're not doing these, your business is slipping through the cracks. This is the money, literally and figuratively. And you know what else? It's fun. Kaylee and I have had so much fun in the last 6 months, diving in, rocking our clients' worlds, integrating them, asking them what's important to them. And guess what? This girl brought on like 4 senior coaches last month. It's because we're doing this and we're making it fun and we're making it about them and not about us. And so I just want to say that the integration Zoom, what they are they're fun, they're upbeat, we're adding value. What they aren't are icky and yucky and gross. It's not the time for your business coach to come in and be the knight in shining armor and like swoop down and introduce coaching. That's weird. Kaylee does this beautifully. She sets me up that whole first week when she's talking to her clients. And you guys, listen, if you're not doing this well or right or whatever right now, don't sweat it. Get off this Zoom, go connect with your business coach. They will help you. But this is the deal. What Kaylee does that's so different and is so successful for her business is that she integrates her clients well. She's sending the daily text. She's setting this up. When they get into fat burn, she's already kind of layered like, oh my God, people are going to notice. Are people at work noticing? What's going on? Oh my gosh, your friends are going to want to do this. She's already kind of trickled in some little pieces of that. So that by the time we get on the integration Zoom, we're basically talking about, we do a quick systems check. It's amazing. And then then you get to kind of invite coaching if applicable. And the reason why these change your business is because Kaylee sets it up well. If you get on an integration Zoom and you want me to come in or your business coach to come in and start layering coaching, it's gross and weird, and we're not going to do that for you. You got to do the work on the forefront, you guys. And then we get to come in and say, like, God, isn't Kaylee amazing? Don't you just love her? She's just amazing. She's rock and roll, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Dawn, is that what you're looking for? Because I kind of got off on the tangent.
You tangent never. What I love though is that basically what I'm getting at is these calls are fun, guys. These calls are absolute gold. And everybody gets a day 7 call anyways, but the ones that you bring to do with your mentor, we're going to talk about who and when and all of that. But these ones are really, really super fun. So they're fun. By the time you get off an integration call, you probably have a new friend. You've had quite a lot of fun. You've integrated, you've figured out where they're diving into the components, and they're probably most likely thinking about coaching. So they're either asking you about it or you're going to move it to an expert. Allison, I want to just kind of run through, because you and I do this. You do it with me, but you come to me and do it. And I just want to show people just in a minute or two just how simple it really actually is. So when you have someone that you're getting started and you're setting that up, what does it look like? I'd love to just run people through what you and I do just real quick so they can see it is just systematic and it's how it happens, and it's really simple.
Super simple. And Dawn, are you wanting me to go into like how we set it up?
Yeah, so this is what I love at you guys. Allison sometimes is like, she'll send me a text, she's like, I got a hot one. I'm so excited for you to meet Suzanne. And it's because she has just done a health assessment with a client that she's in love with, right? Like this person, she sees that they're really hungry and they desire transformation in their lives. So she lets me know right away. So Allison, just walk me through real quick what it looks like when that happens to you and you're like, I already know day 7 or 8 is going to be Saturday or Sunday, or it's going to be day. Just kind of.
So basically what happens is if you're following the system, they get the day 6 text, they're coached into fat burn, you know where they are. As soon as I know that client's there and I want to introduce them to Dawn, some of these I do on my own. And some of them, like some people are more appropriate for doing a 3-way Zoom. So anyway, I message Dawn and I say, I've got an amazing client. What's your schedule like in the next 2 days? You know, this client's in fat burn. And she's like, how about Wednesday, blah, 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 Thursday, blah, blah, blah. So then what I do is I go, because y'all, this is it. I've already talked to the client. I've already celebrated. Oh my God, you're doing amazing. I can't wait to share some tips about how you're going to stay in fat burn. Dawn and I are going to hook you up. Look for my message. So then I go to Dawn and I say, okay, I'm ready for an integration Zoom. And then I go back and I start a 3-way thread and I say, hey, Susie, here's Dawn. We're excited to connect. How's Tuesday at 3 or Thursday at 5, whatever. Once they confirm what time works, because I've already done this with Dawn, I've already confirmed her time's available. Then I say, all right, awesome. Here's the Zoom link. Just pop on that Tuesday at 6 and we'll see you then, girl. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, they say.
Yep.
Great.
And then I love it because Allison always reminds me and the client. So I know the day of the call, I always see a message in that thread from Allison. So excited to connect with you at 2 today. Love that you're rocking your goals. I'm not going to tell Dawn the surprise you have for her, right? Because she knows the person's down like 4 pounds or pound size already or whatever.
8 pounds.
So you always do that reminder. And then Al, what's the other really important thing that we do? Always before we hop on with a client.
Oh, we do a pre-funk. We call it a pre-funk because we have fun, And honestly, what we're doing is we're getting on ahead of time. And this is the deal, you guys. I'm setting Dawn up to come in and make me look amazing. Like, this isn't about Dawn coming on and her being amazing, even though she is amazing. But I want to give her all the data. I want her to know that my client's a rock star, that I've been bragging on them. And if I can set Dawn up to be successful, to come in and be like, oh my God, Susie, so like you and Allison went to high school together, like it makes the conversation, first of all, it grows trust and it's authentic. And then the relationship looks so different. And Dawn's like, well, I know Allison from, her and her husband, we know each other from school, and it makes it fun and upbeat and comfortable and not clinical. So we always do a pre-funk. I'm giving her the data so that she can help me look amazing.
Hey, Dawn, can I pop in for a second? Because the chat is blowing up with questions. I think you guys have sparked some interest. So just before you go into this, I just kind of want to address some questions that people have so that they can really pay attention to what you're about to break down. So number one, Sarah, you asked about, being a WIM coach. I just want to say, not being a win coach doesn't mean telling your clients and like arm wrestling them. It means being bold and coming alongside them and asking them an extra question based on what they told you before, because you remember it. So just making sure that people don't misinterpret that, because I actually did misinterpret that old lady, and I started like actually being too bold with my clients. I mean, honestly, I'd rather layer on the side of being too bold, but just so you know, like, yeah, that win coach thing, that's there. But back to a few things. So Gina, you asked about a role play for this. It's really hard to role play an integration call. But Dawn and Allison are literally breaking down exactly the sequence of what they're about to do. Literally, she like schedules it and confirms it before she offers a time to her client. That way she knows that time's solid that she offers that client. The client can just say yes. So step one, checked with Dawn before she offered availability, because she was setting that day 6. It initiated it. She talked for them 5 minutes before. It's just automatic, because that way Dawn knows exactly where she's hopping in. They can move the speed of trust faster, and Dawn can show up to be exactly what she needs to be on that call to help that person keep moving forward in their health. So this is the role play right here. And Allison, we're probably gonna have to drop your tip thing, because I didn't want to move forward. So let's call a little bit of audible on this call, because I don't want to move forward without addressing all these questions in the chat, because they're so vital. You have hit a big thing with these people. Jen, you asked, what if they don't watch the videos? What if they aren't active in the group? What if they're not on the Habits of Health call? Let me see if I can say this like any more clearly on this, because this is a hard thing to wrap your head around. That's why this call is the most important. We are not judging our clients on their perfection. We're judging them on our progress, just like our coaching ability. It's not about our perfection. It's our progress and our consistency. The integration call is to, like, they've started to dabble. Have you guys ever done anything new? Do you remember what it was like when you were a brand new client? You probably didn't even know which way was up. You were just trying to get your water and your meals in. Just be thankful they're still on plan. The integration call is the time where they're just finishing the week, they're all wobbly, and you grab them and you say, you are freaking awesome. Here's what to do. What are your goals? These are the things X, Y, and Z that you're really going to want to, like, you're solidifying them so they can go as opposed to like wobbly and go down. So like, don't worry if they're not perfect. Like, don't worry about that's what Jen and what Kaylee was talking about, what you do your first week to just really stick that. And the integration call is what sticks it at the end. Plus, if they're going to become a coach, if you really have that vision, it's all going to move quicker based on how solid their first week is. Does that make sense? Tanya, you asked day 6 text, set it up. Well, Kaylee kind of covered that too. Oh, I got to mute someone real quick. On the day 6, and feel free to jump in on this, Don. The day 6 text is like just when you confirm it. Like, but you probably, like Kaylee was talking about, she said it when fat burn was confirmed. Great. She explained what her support's going to look like going forward. Great. You can reach out to me anytime. Use the Facebook group. I'm going to set up a call with you next week. I check in with my clients this next day, but what I'm going to do is I want you to, like, I'm going to be connecting with you next week. Blah, 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 blah. You're kind of layering, you're already kind of clarifying that the integration call is going to happen or not. It doesn't really matter. The point is you're clarifying the next touch. So you're kind of halfway doing it then, and the day 6 tech just seals the deal because you're confirming it and you're locking it down. I think I answered all the questions in the chat. Dawn, anything you want to add to that? Because I really want people to be present for this, like how you lay out the integration call. Because if you do that, you'll get off every call, like Allison said, where it's awesome. The energy is high. You got it. You love it. And almost every single time the actual coach of that client says, oh my gosh, they've never shared that with me before. That was amazing. It happens every single time. So anything else you want to add before you guys really break down like what the flow of a call looks like?
Right. And I think, Brad, as we go through the flow, you guys just remember, it's not about perfection. It is about progress. Stay the course and follow the systems. And remember that you are connecting authentically and cultivating trust with people. You're showing up for them. This integration call is fun. You're connecting, and you're literally looking at how are they diving into the different components, because you know the components like the back of your hand. And if you're brand new, don't worry about it. Your mentor coach is going to do this for you a couple of times. You're going to get to see this done. So I would just say, if you have like any doubts or like, don't know how to do it, or am I doing it right? Don't worry about it. Grab your coach, grab your mentor and say, let's do some of these. Because the more you do them, the more practice, the better you'll get and the more fun they'll get. So I think, Brad, can I go ahead and take an extra 5 minutes and actually go through the layout of this call? I just want to make sure that we give.
Well, let's ask the chat. Because of all the questions, we've gone a little bit long today. Are you guys okay if we, and I really want to end on time. Give me a 1 in the chat if you're okay if we go a little bit longer on this today. Okay. All right, good. And then so Dawn, I'm just going to ask you guys because you guys really do this. And I could ask so many people. There's so many pros that just do this. Is first of all, I would not overthink it. If you're coaching your clients, these are the things, these are like, that's 95% of the thing. You're 95% there if you're on this call today. This is the 5% that makes all the difference. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I didn't do that right. Don't get caught up in like the perfection. Just like, cool, these are the things. Wow, I'm already coaching my clients days 1 through 4. I'm already fat burning. Wow, what if I entered that day 6 text and I really confirmed that integration call like going forward? That'd be the game changer for you. That'd be the extra 5% that makes a huge difference. So Donna, someone also asked in the chat, what if they're not watching all the videos? Like, is that a problem if they're not watching the videos?
No. I mean, I encourage them to do it, but you can't force someone to do it. What I would say is usually if someone's not tuning into something, go back and check how you set it up. Go back and check, did you lay the foundation for the value? Did you let them know, hey, look, I'm going to be sending you some videos. They're 1 to 2 minutes. They are game changers. I coach people into success. I know you want success. And if you read these texts and you listen to these videos, I can guarantee you'll have more success because it's proven. You've then laid the foundation. People need to know what you expect of them so that they can get their results. They have told you what their goals are. Your job is to show up and not be a wimpy coach, to let them know what it looks like to get results. I would say if you feel number 1, not engaging, number 2, not reading the text, insert whatever it is, go back and look at, did you lay the value and were you beyond clear at how they're going to get the results they just told you they want?
Exactly. And I want to put out one last thing. Some people I got to meet people. So last thing here is like, that's what this call is for. So like, I want to give shout out to like, I mean, there's so many people, but like Sarah Graves, Antonio, and Annie, they do this so well. Before we hop in that call, they'll be like XYZ layered coaching. Like, honestly, they have questions about it, or like, oh, hey, I have dreams of this person coaching, but they're just not there yet, but I've layered it. Hey, they're really not using the Facebook page. And I know it's going to be a game changer. Could you edify that? I know you're already going to cover it, but just so you know, that's one thing they're not doing. So it's so you can grease the wheels. This call greases the wheels. Like that's the 5-minute pre-funk that Allison's talking about. She's giving Dawn the clues to be like, this is where this person to freaking set up their journey for success. This is what I like. This is what they're missing. So that's what keeps the call short, and it keeps it super effective. So it doesn't matter what they're not. They can literally be doing nothing. Hopefully they're doing something right, like during that time, but they can do nothing. That call sets up the desire and makes it go like that. So without further, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Will you guys just do the breakdown of what you do? I think we caught up on all the questions. I think Jen Spore said she didn't watch any of the videos when she first started her program. So I think we're all good here. Like, what is it when you do get that call set up? What is it that you guys do? What's the flow of the call? Because it's a conversation. It's about a 15-minute conversation. How do you do it?
Yep, it's about a 15-minute conversation. Let me get this to advance the next slide. So first of all, they're gold. I think we've established that. Probably a lot of you are really excited to, jump into doing even more of these. Everybody gets a day 7 call. The integration calls are calls. If you're not an ED yet, you're going to be doing most of these day 7 or 8 calls with your mentor, right? Because they're the ones that have, like Lindsay and Ashley talked about a few months ago. They've got their coach goggles. They know what these look like. And so they're going to be showing and mentoring and modeling this for you. If you're an executive director, like Allison, if you're an executive director or above, or you're confident in a skill, you're going to be bringing the people that you're really excited about. So it's important to know who gets a 3-way integration Zoom. And eventually they're going to be the people that you're excited about. Probably 75% of your clients, coachable, teachable, you like them, they're enjoying program, things like that. So that's who. And what we've talked about, it's a Zoom or a Facebook video chat. I mean, video is better. Whenever you can get on a video with someone, that is like gold standard. A phone call's okay, but ideally you're going to do a Zoom. They already need the Zoom for the Habits of Health call anyways, so they probably already have it downloaded. They're going to happen on day 7 or 8, and sometimes what I love is that oftentimes these fall into my already scheduled client support day, so it's not an additional call for someone during the week. They're 15 to 20 minutes. It's you, your excited client, and then your support team. And we do them to fully integrate people. We're talking about the 4 components. So like Brad said, you can't force someone to like watch the videos and stuff. You set it up the best you can. And then, but even if they don't tune into anything, you get to catch them on this 1-week call and confirm, show them what's possible, and guide them to integrate a little bit more into the journey so that they can see the best success. This is for them. So you're adding value. You're identifying and you're confirming coach candidates. Like I love it. Allison always tees me up so well. Sometimes we do these calls with people who she's like, you know what? I think they're going to be a coach someday in the future. Right now, they just need a little love. And I really want them to dive into the support team. And they're really, 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 they want this and they want transformation. And so we're hopping on to provide that community and that extra love. And so that's okay too. But what it does do is it's going to organically move it to a Coach Explore sooner. It's going to show the value of that because it's authentic and you're showing them what has made the difference in your journey, being transparent about that. And it is weird if you haven't layered the fact that they're going to be successful, they're going to have people noticing and they're going to be helping other people. Your coach isn't going to come in and layer that for you. Your coach is not going to come in and offer coaching. If you haven't talked about coaching, because you guys, this is about trust and authenticity, and we don't do that. So if you're like, gosh, I really want to help people help their friends and family, but you're not talking about it, go back and talk to your mentor about how you can really start layering that more from the get-go so that you can move these calls into honestly more what they organically become as you are bold and confident and following the systems. Because 9 out of 10 clients are they're going to be coaching eventually at some point in the future. Again, like Susan Lobel didn't become a coach until 8 months into her maintenance, her optimization phase, y'all. And thank goodness someone loved on her and asked her and showed up and coached her really well and integrated her into that. So the other thing is it's never too late to start. There's always a reason to celebrate, to add tips, or to provide someone with community. And here's a little nugget. If you want to grow, aim to do 2 of these a week. Wouldn't you say so, Brad? Allison, wouldn't you say aim to do a couple of a week if you're really wanting to grow and you're really wanting to provide value for your clients?
Yeah, I'll dive in on that because a lot of people are out there. I love this. It's so many great. And I love that everyone's like, I don't care if we stay late. This is so good. A growing business only starts about 5 clients a month. Like these are not that much time put in. And like, what's cool is like most people do their client check-ins on Monday or Tuesday. Most clients start on a Monday or Tuesday. So most of our integration calls just land on their check-in day anyways. Like it's not extra time that really goes into this. So I think, just great questions in the chat on that.
Brad, I wanted to add something too. Like before, I used to kind of make this a little weird because I wanted them to be on the integration Zoom. Like I wanted them because I wanted to grow my business. But when I realized that this was about them and really helping grow their support and that they don't know that everyone doesn't get an integration Zoom, like this is just like what we do. And so guess what? Next week, we're going to do a quick Zoom so that I can give you some tips with my coach. They don't know that everyone doesn't get that, you guys. So don't make this weird setting it up and it won't be weird.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a good question in the chat, Brad, that I think is important to add just about timing. And I think that you hit on that. These don't take that much time, 15 to 20 minutes. And honestly, because most growing businesses are starting, 5 to 7 new clients a month, you're probably doing 1 or 2 of these a week. So it's an extra 15, 20 minutes. Maybe an extra 1 hour a week or something like that. Brad, did you want to touch on that question? Just because when I first started this business, I was working a full-time job, as a lot of you are also, working, especially if you're just starting or getting growing. So
yeah, I'm glad you see that up, and I'm really glad we're expanding on this a little bit more. So I guess the first thing to remember here is that these are just suggestions that we have for you that creates a massive growing business. We all had a business before we did integrative calls and before we did the daily text. So if you're not doing this perfect, great. Add it into what's going well today. This is just one aspect of the support. That's why we spent our first week on setting up your structure. If you're feeling this is taking too much time, my encouragement is that we need to go back into dialing in your structure. So think about what I just said, that you're like, I'm having trouble with integration calls. If you're calling your clients, let's just do a hybrid scenario. Let's say you're working full-time and you're calling all of your, let's say you have an executive director business, probably have a 2-hour window where you're calling all your clients on a Monday or a Tuesday. Cool. Your client is in their first week. You set up that integration call. It's just going to probably be a 15-minute call instead of a 5-minute call during that time. You already did it. You just do it on that Monday with when you were going to call them anyways. So this shouldn't be extra. Does that make sense? And that's why it's so important to have your structure. Our main goal, going back to week 1, that's why we wanted to do the time work today, is that we want this to only, if you're growing to executive director or at executive director, this should take you about like your whole time should be about 8 to 10 pocket hours a week of really high leverage time. That's a really good like hourly rate, by the way. So does that make sense? Like if you are feeling, basically my tip is that there's answers for all of this to make it easy. It shouldn't feel, and if it does feel, then you're not bad. You're just probably getting this down. And I would encourage you to go talk to your support team so they can help you dial it in and be simple. Dawn, is that probably the best thing I could say?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Brad. And if I could add one more little knowledge bomb here is, you rather have a lot of integrated clients that are helping the people around them and creating this really solid community, because guess what? Your calls long-term don't take a lot of time. If you have a wobbly client that comes and goes and really doesn't dive into the community and to the different components, you spend longer over the course of their journey and they will be less successful. If you take the additional 5 or 10 minutes up front, and like Susan said in the chat, I really love that, Susan, #real talk. It depends on what you want. If you want to have successful and
so good,
and to spend and to literally, honestly, you don't need to spend as much time with them long term, because they're going to be helping people and they're going to be even more self-sufficient. And that is where the gold is here. It's putting a little bit of extra time up front so that you basically empower them to actually reach their goals. So you will spend longer if you don't do this on client support long term.
The last thing here, Dawn, I think like this is what's so good. We're calling a little bit of an audible on how we're doing today's call, but like even our Amber just put in the chat, like how she, like the time investment of this. And like, she also thought she could never really run over 8,000 frontline volume. Now she's doing that. She's doing these steps here. She said, I will tell you that shifting a small amount of time each week to grow your business will open up many options for your life. I was working 60 hours a week while building an ED. It was crazy, but now I work from home and I work or whenever I want. Like, so you're also like, back to what Susan said, if you want to grow. But honestly, my encouragement for you to take today is you came to this call already doing most of this like perfect of what we're talking about. We're encouraging, we're showing you the things that make all the tweak, like that can accelerate it. And honestly, if you do this well, you will probably do this in less time. Like if you're feeling like, oh, I don't have this down yet, my encouragement would be is like, as you dial this down next little bit, you'll probably spend less time in your business. So just work with your support team. That would be my biggest encouragement. You're here today. That's why we talked about the squiggly lines: progress over perfection. Eventually things like, Allison, you did a training a few months ago and it was like stuff that you used to trip over, like you now walk on. It's not a big deal. I think it didn't say stuff. I think it said a different word, but you.
S.
Anyways, let's wrap up today, Dawn. I think we've answered so many questions in the chat. This was very valuable. I'm so glad we spent the extra time on this. Wrap up kind of the outline of it for us real quick today.
Yep. So the outline is, layer early, that journey kickoff call in day 7. Let them know they're going to get to meet your coach at the end of the first week. We've already talked about the day 6 text. It confirms and sets up the time. You're going to reach out to your support team like Allison showed in the beginning. Reach out, confirm your support team's time so that you're not going back and forth on times. So confirm, offer a couple times, and then you're going to set a link. You're going to confirm with your support team and the client the day of. That's just being classy. You're reminding them, letting them know that you're excited to hop on and that they're going to get a lot of value. And then you're going to do the pre-funk. You're going to connect with your support team. I also want to just plug that Ashley and Lindsay did a great training that there is a recording of a few weeks ago. So that's always there for you to listen to as well. But be ready to really set your support team up to show up well for your client. So they're going to need to know what program the client's on. If they jump on an integration call and they're talking to a nursing mom and they're trying to confirm fat burn, that's not going to go over so well. So they do need to know some real important things about your client before you hop on. And so update your support team with as much as you can. Take a screenshot of this. If you want to know how to show up really well to these integration calls, show up, know these things about your client, know what day they hit fat burn. Obviously you know what program they're on, but know what components they're aware of and diving into. Are they participating in your client support page? Those are great things that you're going to want to share with your support team so that they can fully assist you and assist your client. And then also let your support team know when your client celebration day is, when your check-in day is, because they're going to edify you, and they're going to also they're going to edify the coaching and what it looks like long-term. And they're going to say, look, you now get to check in with Allison once a week. How awesome is that? She's going to send you a text later on in the week, because we, touch base with people twice a week for their first month, but you are doing amazing. So there's so many things that happen on this integration call. It's just awesome, you guys. So take a screenshot of this if you want to know how to really show up well. This is an outline of a call. I loved how Ashley laid it out. It's the 4 components. We are looking for windows and doors. We're going to walk through the doors, guys. We're not going to stand at an open door. If someone's telling me that their mom has noticed and that their mom has been on their heart for as long as they can remember, I am not going to stand at an open door and not invite them to explore what it's going to look like to partner together and help their mom. So
go ahead, Dawn. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that, on these calls, you're navigating around the walls, you're providing value, you're probably scheduling and explore, or you're teaching them how to refer, and then you're going to follow up. So you're going to have fun, you're going to set the tone, you're going to talk about the healthy body, confirming fat burn, celebrating what are they celebrating so far, sharing some tips. You're going to talk about the education, healthy mind. What are they feeding their mind? That's the Habits of Health system, the calls, the podcast. You guys are just walking them through the components so that they know where they can go and what the tools are. And then you're building community, and then you're also edifying the coaching and the support. Brad, you're going to add something.
Actually, I was going to say, I think this is a good place to end up. I think the chat has been blowing up from people that have taken this action step and they've seen the results saying, do it, it works. And I think we answered enough questions where people had clarity. I love, Chrissy, you said, as a recovering perfectionist, I'm loving the permission to just get better over time. You're fine right now. I think today was a slam dunk. So what I would say is, because there's just so much gold here, Dawn and Allison, let's sit with that. I think they have the why. I think they have enough to sit on it. They saw the outline. Let's come back next week and break that down a little bit more, and then go through finishing the month strong. I think that'd be a really good place to end up. We can kind of revisit it a little bit again after it seeps in a little bit more. I think it's been really good. It's 8:09. So you guys, it's just an honor to work with you guys, and just your perfection and not your perfection, but your desire to be better. So let's all give Allison, Kaylee, and Dawn a big round of applause. And next week was already going to be part 2. So we'll dive a little bit more into that. Let me share my screen real quick as we wrap up here today. And then I'm going to give you guys the action steps, and then we will hold a bonus party just like we did last week for people to hear some amazing tips from Lisa and Gary Stewart real quick. So as I wrap up here, let me show you guys this real quick. I think we answered your question today. We don't need to show you guys how to be bold through the holidays, because Allison just showed you the recipe. Find out what people want. Go back to their why. Don't be a wimpy coach. It doesn't matter what season of life there is. It could be the holidays, it could be whatever. I think we all would agree we got the answer on how to coach our clients through the holidays. But in between, check out Becca Tinter's call on Monday on the leadership call. She's going to be going over all of those things. And honestly, it's really cool because Becca's like the original trainer. I remember 8 years ago when she created her first PowerPoint on Thriving Through the Holidays here locally in Portland. And she's so good at this. So we're not going to really cover like bulletproof coaching through the holidays because Becca's going to cover it. And I think we learned the number 1 skill of that today. She was going to share some examples, but she just showed you that today. We'll move to that afterwards. So, but here is where we wrap up. Simple action steps. And again, they're not like action steps to-do lists. These are the action difference makers. So you can choose to do them.
Make your lungs bleed.
Yeah, we don't want to make our lungs bleed. That'd be bad, Diana. All right, action steps. Make the decision. I would encourage you guys over this before Christmas, set aside 1 hour to really dream big. I love the chat there. April, Tanya, so many people I can't even keep up. They were like, oh my gosh, do these things. It works. You'll see the results of it. I love the business they have. They never dreamed they would happen. So I want you guys to dream big on that. Watch Monday night's coach call with Becca. It'll change your game of how you coach your client. It'll be the exclamation point on what Allison and Don covered today. Allison covered, just set up health assessments. If you're not setting up health assessments, then what are we doing here? We're not helping anyone change their health. Stay consistent during your 3, 3, and 3 and up it during the season. And then lastly, if you have not done your mid-month pulse check, it's never too late. Do it right now. With that being said, have a great Saturday, everyone. But if you guys want to learn a little bit more, I would encourage you, if you guys are hungry and you have the time. So the call's over now. This is all bonus. We're going to turn over to Lisa and Gary Stewart. They're going to drop some tips on how you can show up well at Thanksgiving. So as I just put a final bow on this, and if you have to go, you have to go. Dawn, Allison, anything you want to add on your section today that would you just put a final exclamation point till we come back next week?
I do, just because there's a lot of chat and there's a lot of stuff and kind of a lot of gobbledygook going on. And I just want to let you guys know this. Kaylee and I were not doing this well at the beginning of this year. We weren't. I asked her if she trusted me. We dove in. We worked really well on integration, and we found a good groove. If you're not doing it well and none of this makes any sense, connect with your coach. You guys do this together. You're going to learn, you're going to practice, and you're going to find that it's going to change your business. And it's also going to change your heart and the way you feel about our full offering. So if none of it makes sense, it didn't make any sense to me either 8 months ago. And now I'm practicing it. I'm starting to practice it in other legs of business. And it's really a lot of fun.
Got it. Perfect. Dawn, anything else you want to add?
No. I can't wait to hear what Gary and Lisa have to share, though.
All right. If you have to pop off, go have a great week. Be extra consistent this week as people are about to go into Thanksgiving. Stay really connected with your clients. But with that being said, let's turn it over to the bonus here. I'm going to stop my share. Lisa and Gary, you guys are pros at this. Can you share some tips on social media here today as we kind of wrap up in the bonus hours?
All right. Thank you.
Kind of got the bar set pretty high after all that stuff going on earlier.
Yeah. Some great tips. Thank you, guys. Wow, that was fantastic. So real quick, we'll talk quick because we know we're on time here. I love social media, and some of you, I put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you love social media, that you feel comfortable with it, that you feel like you know that you're branding yourself, how to do it, what to do. Put a 1 in there. Put a 2 if it's something that is not your favorite thing to do, but you're willing to learn. So lots of 2s. Excellent. So here's the thing. I used to not like it. It was not my favorite. It scared me. So one of the things I learned very early on is when I started, I worked full-time. So how many, you guys a lot of you probably working full-time, maybe have other businesses and stuff too. And maybe some of you have kids and you don't know how to integrate it all together to make it work. So I know one of the things that worked for Gary and I is when we first started, I did a lot of cross-marketing. I was a realtor, had my office, so I did cross-marketing. So you're at another job and people are like, what do I do? Cross-market, do stuff together, have fun with it. But what made the difference, honestly, for me, is when I said, you know what? I quit identifying myself as my old job and started identifying myself as who I wanted to be. And I wanted to be a health coach. I wanted to grow this business. And
start putting that on social media.
Yeah. So that's when the biggest shift came in our business, is when we said that. So going into the holidays, I think some of the things you really need to think about is branding yourself. You know, if I look at your Facebook page, or you go look at your Facebook page, are you guilty of being a health coach? Are you guilty of being a health coach, first of all? And if you're not, what are you guilty of being? Because people are watching, and never I know some people are like, oh my gosh, no one liked my post, nobody did that. I guarantee people are watching. 5 years later, I still have people that are watching that reach out, or I'll run into them in the store and they're like, oh my gosh, I made that recipe you posted the other day. I forgot they're even my friend on Facebook because they have not liked one thing. So people are watching. Or I'll post something about, we went and did something. They're like, oh my gosh, tell me about your trip. And I'm like, there's stalkers out there watching you. They may not be commenting, liking, or anything. So don't let that dictate how you're going to run your business. So really be real. I always tell everyone, brand yourself. Find 3 things that you stand for. So if you look at my Facebook page, there's 3 things I stand for. I stand for faith, faith, and my family, and health. So what does that mean? Health?
Maybe hunting too.
Yeah. So Gary, so if you look at our pages, it's like, that's what, and then we have other stuff in between. But if you have 3 main things you're focusing on, so a brand new coach out of the gate, what do I do? First of all, you need to do a launch. and reach out to your mentor, your coach, and ask for help doing that, because that really is the first thing. You can capture so much action in the beginning. So say you're been doing this a while and you're like, oh, I missed that gate. It's not too late. I've been doing this over 5 years. Brad's been, what, 9-10 years. We are always relaunching ourselves. So our health, you keep improving. It's kind of like the laundry. It's never done. You're always doing it. So you need to just really ask yourself, am I guilty of being a health coach? Am I guilty? So like, you know, I can't show a brand new before and after of me every month, every week, every day, because I lost my weight 5 years ago. But what I can post is I'm going to spin class. I never did spin class before. So that's my health thing. So find something that is your thing, that you're improving in your health. It's not about weight. It's about, you know, whether it's, this is my new office. I did a before and after the other day, my office, my old office and my pool office side by side. Which one do you want? And be really intentional. That's huge. When you're posting, be super intentional about what you're posting. Who's your target that you're trying to attract? So going into the holidays, you have to think, okay, what does my business need and where do I need to be by the end of the year or the end of the month or week or whatever it is? Look at your goals and say, okay, you know what? I need 5 more clients. So I really need to target different client, you know, okay, I need a new coach. So just look at what are you posting? And think about it. If you go look at your own Facebook page, would you attract yourself to that page?
Bring value.
And really bring value, especially this time of year. Holidays, people, there's a hate-love relationship with holidays. A lot of people are down. So if you're all over here having fun and, you know, or saying, gimme, 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 or do, what value do you have to offer to somebody? You know, it could be some holiday tips. It can be things like that. And, you know, going into the holiday, tomorrow we're celebrating Thanksgiving at our house. So we have a house full of people coming and going. But you know, one, I make sure that we're posting our 3 things that we stand for. But when social media, when you take it out of just online, what the people around me in real life, do they see those 3 things I stand for? Or am I different in person than I am online? So an example would be, if I'm outgoing and do this, and then you see me in person and I'm sitting in the corner shoving food in my face, being quiet, those are 2 different, what I'm showing here and what I'm doing is 2 different things. So you want to be real. So you're going to be around people, you know, so think about that, how you can do that. So you're, you know, great time to build your business over this in holiday. So Thanksgiving.
One thing we were talking about too earlier was, are you just doing Optavia, or are you truly living Optavia? And I mean, that's what people, you want people to see that through your social media and in person. You know, when we're through the holidays, there's going to be a lot of personal connections, and those are even more stronger and more value put on those relationships than they are on the social medias. And you know, when you're around people over Thanksgiving, you don't want to be the person that's saying, no, I can't have that. No, I can't have that. I mean, you may be doing 5 and 1 through the holidays, and that's great. You know, there's going to be, you want to say you're choosing not to do that during this season. And if you aren't on 5-1, it's let people see you're not afraid to take a bite of your grandma's famous pumpkin pie. I mean, don't be shy or ashamed of who you are. I mean, be proud.
Yeah, and I think that's important because people are watching you, even your family, friends that you're doing Thanksgiving with, and they do. They're going to watch to see what you're eating. And sometimes it makes more of a statement that you have that bite of something instead of, no, I can't, because that's not attracting someone to you. So think about that. Be intentional, you know, with that. So the other thing So my 3 things I'm going to give you for your takeaways, as far as go relaunch yourself, as far as a before and after. So do, your before, your after, or now photo. Do something fun. Always relaunch yourself. And then to be able to, what's your 3 things? Really think about this week and identify your 3 things that you want people to relate you to. I mean, I see Susan on here. Susan's got a dog. You see her dog on stuff. Rosie, think about what, I have grandkids. What do you guys have? Brad has, his 2 kids. He's got a Tesla. Those are great things because people can relate to that. And then is to have fun with it. Don't make it stressful. If you don't know how or what to post, reach out to your mentorship and say, I need help. Before and afters are great, showing people's before and after, but your friends want to see your before and now and consistently growing. And because if I'm just showing everyone else's, everybody's going to go, okay, wonder what happened to Lisa. Is she not showing anything new? And being consistent is really the key. And then Brad wanted us to talk a little bit about working together.
Working as a couple. I'm just going to kind of, we're gone.
Way over.
Way over. So I'm just going to kind of highlight some points that work for us. And you just got to figure out where you're at in your business if you are going to work together. And working together doesn't necessarily mean like, hey, you're going to do this and you're going to do this. It might be something as simple as you're going to help the spouse do dinner, go do the grocery shopping, or go do the yard work while they're doing calls. Those type of things are important. And don't think that just because your spouse does not want to get involved right now, Optavia changes lives. I mean, it transforms lives. I mean, I would never have thought that I would be doing this, sitting here talking to everybody on this. And so it changes your perspective. We have a passion for our mission now. And so anyways, the other thing is focus on each other's strengths. I mean, Lisa's good at some things and I'm good at some things, and focus on each other and just really blend those together to create the greater thing. We're all in different seasons in our lives. Brad's got little kids going up. Susan's got a little bit older kids going up. We empty nesters. We all are in different seasons, and those seasons change. So just adapt with that. We're always talking about personal growth as people, but personal growth as couples that's super important too, whether it be date night or LaBelle's, they went and saw the Hollises rise together. I mean, just things like that, just growing your relationship. And I mean, you just said it earlier too, most of all, it's just do what's best for you and have fun. I mean, that's the most important thing about all this, is just to have a good time. So Brad, back to you. Thanks everybody. Sorry we killed half your morning.
Well, that was all bonus. We had 150 people stay on, 160 people stay on for that. And I believe it was well worth it. You guys, great heart, amazing tips on just everything on social media, but it's applicable to everything. And then you just nailing it home with just that working in your strengths. Optavia changes lives, anyways, I want to resist the urge to recap. You guys have gotten over the chasm. You guys have built the trust. You guys have stayed consistent. You're changing your lives. You're changing your coaching. I was going to encourage you guys, keep staying consistent, keep investing in yourselves. It's showing up right now. So with that being said, congrats to everyone that stayed on for the bonus party. Have a great week, my friends. We'll come back to this and finish up this topic next week. Have fun at Thanksgiving. Be ultra present this week. I'm guaranteeing there's at least 10 people that need you to just show up and be you this next week. Let's show up authentically. Let's cultivate trust. That's where games change. So have a great day, everyone. Congrats for perfecting your craft and being hungry to learn and grow, man. It's amazing. All right. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Brad.
Amazing
Incredible
stuff.
training. Thank you so much.
I know we went long, but I think that's the most jam-packed action tips, it's like the action movie of the year of things there. This, if you pay attention to the details, I'll be going back to watch this. This was incredible. Love the chat. Love the clarity. Amazing stuff. All right, you guys, we went a little bit over, so let's go take extra action and then go enjoy our Saturday. Have a great day, everyone.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. De nada.